Hi my friends, Dr. Groovy here, back with part 3 of our ukulele series. Today we're going to finish up on a little idea that we had started at in C right after we did our F stuff on the last lesson. But we're going to be working on this shape. Which we already did, but we're going to add a few things to it. Okay, just a little bit left over top of this F stuff. Okay, and then we're going to go through the G because we're still doing the C, F, G, but as far as our G goes, there is a lot of stuff to add here. Okay, and even more than that, of course. We can go ahead and play. And more. Okay, so you guys hang tight because I always show you more than you'll ever need, but that's always better than not having enough. Okay, so stick around and we'll plow right on through this just as usual. Okay, welcome, and welcome. Okay, on our last lesson, whenever you last checked it out, when we were doing all of our F stuff, we had actually went and checked out a C shape, which was like this. Okay, starting with the frets going up, we were at 3, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and I'm not going to show this hand for a second because it's just the way it is, or I can. Just know I'm using fingers, but we can use our pinky, get it off that 3rd fret, move it up to the 5th. Okay, so you have, without it, 5th fret, 7th. It's quite the reach. Again, 5th fret on your E string. And 5th fret again on your C string. That's the one you'll use the most. Again, it's a suspended 4th or the sus4, the one you're always going to enjoy hearing. So, again, we are back in C. So remember that. And one last thing, this is another way of getting to what is called the major 7th. Okay, we have not done this yet. There's 2 ways for us to get there in what I'm going to show you anyway. One is this way, and the next one will sound almost identical. But taking that pinky on your E string and moving it forward up to the 6th fret. Okay, so you could be playing C. To the F. Okay, you can tell that leads you and leads anybody else you might be playing with directly to the F. They have no other choice than to know that you're getting ready to play an F chord. Okay, because with that, it just says, hey, I'm going to the F chord and I can't be going to anything else. So that's what a 7th chord does. It lets people know that you're going to something and it is very apparent where you're going to. I'm going to show you another 7th in a little bit that lets you know in G that you're getting ready to go back to the C. And that's done with the 7th also. And there's no doubt what chord you're going to. You would not go to another chord. Okay, so one way again, this is called the major 7th. Oh, I'm sorry, the dominant 7th, not the major 7th. Okay, so again, we played the typical C like this. Pinky, 5th fret on the E string. 6th fret. Okay, then the F. Okay, the other way is if you're just playing a normal C, is to just go back 2 frets. So, okay, you definitely could hear I'm going to go to the F. That was the G7 chord. That definitely let you hear that I was coming back to the C. Okay, so now that we have a little bit of that C stuff covered again after the F lesson from yesterday, or yesterday's lesson that I posted, we're going to move on to the G, and after this we'll put some stuff together, and then we'll start moving on to add another chord in, so that you can do 2 of the chords you already know, and then add another chord in with it, which will change everything up for you for a little while. Okay, so our G chord, which is on the C, 2nd fret, okay, on your E, 3rd fret, and of course on your A, 2nd fret. And of course we have our high G, which is nice. We have 2 are identical. The suspended 4, which is the nice one that we always like, is the pinky, okay, on the high A string. I just call it the high A string because it's the highest one down here. Put it on the 4th fret, so just under your ring finger there. So now this string is the coolest one you're going to have. Okay, yeah, your A string. It's going to be your buddy now. I'm going to do this. Now take out your middle finger. Put it back in. Okay, that's for a sus2. Adding more 7ths in. Anyway, when you are going to say stuff like G7 or D7, just say G7, D7. You don't have to say major 7th or minor 7th unless you're actually hitting or dominant 7th, unless you're actually just hitting something odd like a major 7th. If you just say 7th, it is implied that it's going to be 2 frets back from the root or the 1. Okay? That note is not in the major scale. That's why we have to call that out. It's just not part of, it's not one of those notes, so we just have to call it a 7th. Okay? That's just the way it is. That's law. Okay, so back here, add the suspended 4th, 3rd fret. Now we're going to go to the 5th. That's right, just taking that pinky and stretching it up all the way up to the 5th fret. Okay, and if you want to, you can, of course, play your normal G again. We'll lift that middle finger. Now we're going to go to that 3rd fret. Put your finger down again. Up to the 5th fret. 4th fret. 3rd fret, 2nd, already there, let it off. Okay, that little thing I did there is actually taking the main note, the G, taking it back 1 fret by doing 1 finger across all 3 strings. And then back to normal. Okay, so we did. Which is actually going from G to D to G. Okay, that's actually a D formation. Okay, kind of groovy. It's just what it is. It's beautiful. Okay, so we also have in G the 4th fret up here on your C string. And lifting off of that C string. Okay, so you hear something a little bit different when you're playing these notes instead of the 4th. Okay, suspended 2nd, 3rd, which is normal, 4th, 5th. Those are all the pretty ones. When we get down here, that's our 3rd. I'm sorry, not our 3rd. Our 5th and our 6th. Okay, so your 5th and your 6th. And it's a matter of playing them within notes that will complement it well, and that's by leaving off the A string as just kind of a darker sound. And I did take my pinky and I stretched it up to the 5th fret. It's kind of a neat little trick. So those are some cool little things for G. That's another one. Kind of a strange one, but it totally works. We're going to leave off the A string again. We're going to play the other two normally, but we're going to use our middle finger on the E string 3rd fret, go to the 2nd fret on the C string, and then on the G string we're going to go up to the 4th fret, okay, with our ring finger. Okay, you can go ahead and play the high string if you want, the A string, but it's just a weird sound, but going back 1 fret, okay, 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 and that's by hammering on your C string from that 2nd fret to the 4th fret, up to the E string, then sliding from that 3rd to the 4th, and then hitting your E string again. Just very cool if you can pull it off, and if you need it, groovy. Okay, I had mentioned the 7th, so in G. The 7th is simply inverting or turning your hand inside out this chord and doing it this way. We're actually taking your ring finger and trying to move it back 2 frets. That's our goal, is to move it back here to the 1st fret. You can't do it. No matter how much of a contortionist you are, you can't do it unless you're missing a finger and your pinky can slide home there. But we have to reconfigure our fingers. Okay, so now we have this. Okay, these 2 fingers are there. Okay, so your ring finger up on the C string and your, your middle finger up on the C string, your ring finger on the A string. Now, on the E string is where we're putting our finger on the 1st fret. So that's 2 frets back, which is a 7th. Okay, so that is where we definitely hear that we're getting ready to go from the G chord back to the C chord. Because remember, after all this, we're just playing C, F, C, G. So, playing straight through it, and you look for this G chord, and before we go back to the C, you're going to see me go into this G7, and that lets us know definitely that we're going back to the C chord. You can just hear it. It wouldn't go to any other chord. It just tells you, hey, I'm going to the C chord and nobody can stop me. As does the C7 chord. Lets us know we're going to the F. Okay, so I'm going to play the C7 and the G7, and I'm going to add in the little with the F just because we went through it, and it sounds great. So here are all those. 2 of the 7ths and then the F little trick, and you can see how everything fits together on basic chords and how you can spice those up. Here we go. Okay, so you can hear without a doubt that everything is changing and what chord it's going to. There's no way they were going to a different chord. Your ear says that's where I'm going, and that's where we went. Okay, so that is today's lesson. I hope you got it, and if not, go get it, just like always. Just take it little bit by little bit. Come back and get a little more. Come back, get a little more. They're always going to be here. And stick around, because tomorrow, like I said, we're going to add another chord and continue to build on your repertoire. I did that simply because I know how to roll my R's, and some of you ladies out there might find that groovy. Okay. You guys take care. Bye-bye.